Hey, it's Kevin here, and I've been living with the brand new Samsung Galaxy Z Fold8 for a little while now, and it really feels like foldable phones are really starting to be more mainstream. They look great, they have cool designs and like fun designs like this phone, and it's kind of like what Samsung told me at the release event, that it's not about if you want a folding phone, but it's more about which folding phone you want. But at a starting price at around 2,000 euros, this phone is gonna have to be a little bit more than just nice to look at and fun to use. And that's why today we're diving into why this new shape changed how I use a phone, and the hardware improvements, the new battery, and of course, the cameras. Let's get into the hardware because this year, the shape is the main story. The Fold8 is now shorter and wider than its predecessors and measuring at 123.9 millimeters tall and 81.9 millimeters wide when closed. And to be honest, I really had to get used to the new form factor because a lot of the apps aren't really built for this aspect ratio. And also when you're typing on the cover screen, because there's not as much screen real estate, the keyboard covers like over half the screen. So you can only see like 1 or 2 lines of what's in your messaging app. So I was a little frustrated at the beginning, but now I actually love it, especially for one-handed use, because this wider, shorter front display makes it easy for me to reach everywhere on the screen with my thumb. I mean, I know I do have bigger hands as well, but I feel like for most people, you can touch almost anywhere on the screen with your thumb. And this new form factor has kind of spoiled me because when I go back to a normal smartphone, it feels a little bit too tall now. But the cool thing about this phone is when you need that classic tall smartphone shape, you just unfold it and use it in portrait orientation, and it's kind of like you have the best of both worlds. So it's really portable when closed, and you have a massive 7.6-inch screen when you need it. And another thing worth mentioning is that the crease is almost gone. It's a massive improvement over the Fold 7, and I like it a lot. You really have to go and look for it now to even notice it. And it makes the whole experience of using the main display feel more premium and seamless. And speaking of the screens themselves, they are gorgeous. On the front, you get a 5.5-inch dynamic AMOLED 2X, and on the inside, there's a massive 7.6-inch QXGA+ panel. And they both have a buttery smooth 120 Hz adaptive refresh rate, and they both get incredibly bright, even in direct sunlight, so these screens stay perfectly visible. And Samsung has also really improved the hinge on the Fold this year, and it's really smooth, it feels really premium, but there is a catch. In previous Folds, you could open it up to almost any angle and it would stay there. Now, if you go a little past 2/3, it kind of just unfolds automatically, and you can't really use it for, like a desk, sitting it on a desk anymore to watch videos. I mean, it doesn't bother me too much because I didn't really use the tent mode or the desktop type mode on the table, but it's something to note if you use that feature a lot. And on the inside, we have the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 for Galaxy, and everything is super smooth with no hiccups or stutters. And for the RAM, you get 12 gigabytes with the 256 gigabyte or 512 gigabyte models. But if you go for the 1 terabyte flagship, you actually get 16 gigabytes of RAM. But the welcomed surprise with the Fold 8 is that Samsung is finally using silicon carbon batteries. So that means you get a 4,800 milliamp battery and this really thin 4.5 millimeter frame. And the battery improvements are really noticeable because as a power user like myself, I could not kill this thing in one day. Even on a heavy day with a lot of 5G and GPS, at the end of the day, around 10 p.m., I would still have between 25 and 40% battery left. So there are a lot of welcomed improvements to the hardware, but on to one area where Samsung really does things great, and that's in the UI, because I feel like Samsung software for foldables is still unmatched. because I think One UI is what separates Samsung from the other foldables, especially with the new One UI 9. It looks clean and it feels like a mix of Material UI from Pixel and a little bit of that glass look from iOS. And you can run 3 apps at once in a split screen and even have pop-up windows on top of that. And with the customizable app shelf on the side and the taskbar at the bottom, it just feels like a tiny laptop sometimes. But the only downside is that you still get some of Samsung's bloatware, and the menus can feel a little bit cluttered, but I do feel like Samsung is improving this every year. So now on to the cameras, because on the back you get a dual 50 megapixel setup, you get a 50 megapixel standard lens and a 50 megapixel ultra wide lens. But yeah, for social media, these things are great because the colors are brighter and punchier, even than like the iPhone 17 Pro Max, where I had a blind camera comparison where in most of the photos, most of my followers chose the shots from the Galaxy Z Fold8. And I think this is the area where most people are disappointed. A lot of people wanted to see a telephoto lens as well, and maybe the same 200 megapixel sensor that you get on the flagship like the S26 Ultra. And I get it because I feel the same way. The cameras are pretty good for like social media posting because you get punchy colors, everything looks good, it's sharp, but if you look in closer, it's not the same quality. I also feel like video recording is pretty solid. It's not the best out there, but it's good enough for social media. And I feel like in general, the cameras have been tuned to perform well for social media and also aimed at creators with features like My Fan Cam that you get in the Gallery app. It uses Galaxy AI to automatically find a subject in your video and keep them in the frame. It's a pretty cool feature for creators that want to record themselves. However, if you're a camera enthusiast, you might be a little disappointed by the grainy zoom and the poor low light performance. So the new Z Fold8 is thinner, lighter, and with this new shape, it fits easily in your pocket, and it's also easy to use with one hand when it's folded. And combined with the nearly invisible crease, it makes it a content consumption beast. So if you can get past the short cover display learning curve and the hinge changes, this is probably one of the most productive devices you can put in your pocket. What do you think about the new shorter and wider form factor? Let me know down in the comments. Thanks for watching my video, and I hopefully see you in the next video.